underground military installation in the Nevada desert. This facility was the type of place that created the Area 51 alien stories. Moving right now, and skipping around what he was now absolutely sure was a body, he found the lighter on the right of the keyboard. Damn, I'm sure I'd seen it on the left, he thought. Flicking the lighter on, it blinded him for a moment, as his eyes previously strained for any light. Sure enough, sitting before him was the mummified remains of the lab technician, sitting in the same chair as before. The technician's body was sitting rocked back in its chair as if he simply died while working. The scientist was nowhere in sight. Next to where he found the lighter was a notebook that the lab technician had been using to log his experiment. Jake checked the entries and noted the last was on July 8th at 9 p.m. The 8th? Jake was sure today was the 5th, the day after the 4th of July holiday. He was positive because he spent the weekend in Las Vegas to ensure he was able to report in on time. How would he lose 3 days in the blink of an eye? What was more important, bodies don't mummify in 3 days. They didn't even mummify in a month, and that was all the power the cells in the table held. Jake was told the stasis field generator was inside the table he'd been laying on. The scientist explained its workings to him, in detail, and that it contained completely redundant components to prevent field size fluctuations or partial field collapses for his safety. In addition, its reserve power cells could maintain a human-sized stasis field for up to a month. What in the hell was happening to him? Had he been in stasis all along, the missing 3 days? If more, then how long was he in stasis anyway? The team he met earlier briefed him on the experiment he was to be part of. They described how they discovered a way to create a stasis field that stopped time, or more accurately, slowed time down a great deal. One of the presenters explained the stasis effect to him. "Jake," he began, "imagine being in a boat on a river floating free with the current. The river is time. Now toss out an anchor so the river continues to flow past, but the boat remains stationary. In stasis, time continues to flow past, but you stay put in time. That's what the stasis field does. It holds its contents close to the point in time the field is created in, while the flow of time outside the field continues." Using the lighter, Jake moved over to his clothes resting on a chair in the corner of the room. He'd placed them there when he first arrived and was instructed to strip down. First, he pulled all the sensors off his body, getting some hair with them, and then he started to dress. When the scientist attached those sensors earlier, he explained, "We discovered in earlier testing that even though the field is physically impenetrable and time is almost frozen inside, we can actually pass some wireless transmissions through the field. The rate of decay is about 1 hour over 100 years, but don't worry, you won't notice anything. For some strange reason, the field stops most high-energy transmissions, but certain low-energy frequencies aren't affected. That's part of the reason we use this facility as our lab. We are so deep underground here, we can guarantee no outside signals will affect our testing." He continued, "Part of this test is to see if we can pass you information while you're in stasis. For example, this would allow a spacecraft crew in stasis to receive position and system status information while in flight. Thus, when released, they are fully aware of their situation. Because time isn't completely stopped, you will be able to absorb some information. We need to measure how much. In your case, we're going to feed you a training program and see if you can perform previously unfamiliar tasks successfully after coming out of stasis." He finished up. Jake pulled his shirt on over his head and noticed a stale smell that just said, "old." Holding the lighter out in front of him, he stepped out of the room and headed into the hallway. Stopping and looking both ways down the dark corridor, he saw no sources of light. Just to be sure, he extinguished the lighter and just stood there while his eyes adjusted to the dark. Nope, there was nothing, just dark.